Welcome, locker room guests. We have a special pre-recorded back-to-school episode for you. We haven't seen you in a couple weeks, but boy, have we been busy, haven't we, guys?
Super busy.
So excited. When you're watching this episode, we have already been through the first day of school. Ron will be back in the class after a few years. Me and AMAX will be getting ready for some GHS football. What else do we got, Ron?
I mean, sports are just starting. I mean, this is kind of the beginning of a busy time.
We will post info on all tryouts and everything on our page. So don't forget to have your friends like Cibola County Sports Facebook page. As we get that info, we'll post it. Thanks to our sponsors, Distinct Ink Custom Apparel and the Grants Public Library. This wouldn't be possible without all of you guys. So thank you. But guys, we talk about how busy we've been these 2 weeks we've been off. Oh, so geeked out. AMAX, tell our fans what we've been up to.
I don't know if we should tell them yet. I'm super anxious for this episode. We did some hard work. We've been hitting the emails. We've been pushing this show, trying to get us out there. We're trying to grow. We're trying to expand. We always want to cover our local area stuff, of course, but we want to branch out and cover more of New Mexico sports and all that's going on. So we went out, we've sent some emails, and we had a busy day in Albuquerque.
Yeah, it was awesome, guys.
You didn't really say what it is.
I didn't say it.
We'll keep you guys in suspense for a few more minutes, but just know that this might be the coolest episode of the locker room yet.
Yes.
Too bad Ron had to ruin it wearing the god-awful hat on his head right now. Just kidding.
Also, guys, we want to shout out that we have our Twitter too. Also, Twitter at capital CIB capital COUNTY.
There you go.
Capital S PORTS at Cib County Sports.
Yeah, go follow those.
Twitter.
We're gonna have some contests coming up. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming up.
We got a YouTube coming up too. We're gonna start putting stuff on YouTube. We've been busy.
High school sports is huge, as we mentioned. It's just getting started. We have a lot to look forward to at GHS football. They're climbing in the rankings.
That's right.
They got some top 50 players now on NM Preps. I mean, this is the year. Are we going to see a state title on a brand new turf field? Are we going to see it? Is it possible?
It is very possible, I think.
It is very possible.
When you have all these guys returning and then how well they did last year, and then if not this year, who knows? Maybe they'll have a great team the following year as well.
Speaking of football, there might be a little surprise coming up from us three too, Ron.
Yeah.
We're not going to say nothing at all about that.
We're in the
fans
talks to do something fun.
Just
Something
stay tuned
big.
for everything.
Just stay tuned for all the news.
I should also mention that I heard through the grapevine, and it's pretty reliable information, the turf field, which we're all welcome and are eagerly awaiting, might not be done for that first home game against Gallup.
Might.
It's a 30th,
It's
right?
a might at this point, is what I'm being told. I am also being told that in the event it's not done, they will move the game to Gallup. Okay. So it'll be a short drive. I'm also hearing that the bleachers, where they were up in the air about what to do with, those are coming down, but not till the end of the season. And so there will be more new construction, new bleachers, new press box, where maybe they'll cut out a little place for the locker room guys in there.
For sure. I'm hoping they will.
We got to talk about that, but yeah.
Well,
GHS soccer's going with a new boys coach. They're getting ready to get after it. Volleyball, they've been having open gym and having a lot of girls out.
Good numbers, yes.
All the things they did this summer are paying off. But also we got cross country coming up. We're going to get them on the show.
We're going to be
it's
busy.
exciting. It's
We're
exciting,
going to be
guys.
busy.
Plus, don't forget, Yaffle has gotten underway for our local youth. They are conditioning from 5 to 7 every evening at Mesa Park. So if you've signed up for Yaffle, 5 to 7 p.m. at Mesa Park, they're conditioning now. The official start hasn't begun yet, but get out there and get ahead so when we're in those pads, we'll be in shape. Also, flag football registration through next week, I believe.
Yes.
And then we're going to get that going. So everything sports is back. School's back in session. And we always, like AMAX says, like to cover local youth that are doing great things. Some may consider alternative sports, like we talked about, cornhole, stuff like that. Esport, NMAA brought esports.
Today they have the Ocho Ocho, what's it called?
ESPN the Ocho.
ESPN the Ocho, and people are in there folding boxes as a sport and all kinds
And
of juggling.
the NMA did sanction esports last year, and there was a state champion for video games. They offer scholarships. But what we have next is a little bit cooler than esports in my eyes. We're going to bring on a young man from right here in Cibola County who competes in cubing, you guys. When I talk about cubing, I'm talking about that Rubik's Cube, you know? How fast can you do it? And there's so many more than just the 3x3 cubes. He's going to show us what he's got. He just got back from a big competition, an international competition that was hosted right here, and he was the only competitor from Cibola County. So we're going to interview Mr. Ryan Ramirez
You know,
right now.
if I had
Yes, there you go. Let's
if
take a
I
pause.
had a Rubik's Cube, it would take me about a week or so to maybe get it one side done.
And from what I heard, they're doing it in under 3 seconds. Ron. Under
What?
3 seconds.
I don't know. Is that really possible?
We're going to see here in a second.
Because all I know is I used to just take the stickers. At one point, I'd just get fed up and just move the stickers.
Well, we'll find out exactly how fast these guys are, and let's cut to that interview right now. All right, we are here with Mr. Ryan Ramirez, who is going to be a sophomore at GHS. When this airs, you'll be your first day of being a sophomore will be done. And this young man did something special a couple weeks ago. He participated in a competition that was named B Cubed. This was located in Rio Rancho, and it was hosted by a group that is known as B Greater Than Average. And this group is out of Rio Rancho. This FANS was a World Cubing Association sanctioned event that had 51 competitors from Canada, Mexico, and of course the United States. Mr. Ramirez here competed in all 4 events that included the 4x4 cube, the 3x3, the 2x2, and the Pyramix division. He's going to talk about and show us all of that here in a second. But he was the one and only participant out of right here, Cibola County's own. We want to welcome Mr. Ryan Ramirez to the locker room. Thanks for coming on, buddy. And before we get started talking about all this cool stuff, we want to give you a hat, a locker room hat that you can hopefully wear to your next competition, all right?
Thank you.
All right, so as we mentioned, Ryan, you're a sophomore at GHS. Tell us how you got into this. How did you get into cubing?
In St. Teresa, I believe it was 2nd grade that I saw someone have one of the Rubik's Cube, and I thought it was cool, so I went to the store the next day and bought one. And I would mix it up and just give it to the guy so he could solve it over and over, because I liked how fast he could do it. And then this guy decided to say, hey, I know how to solve it. I can't solve it as fast as the other one, but you want me to show you? So he showed me, and then so from there I just practiced, and I didn't think it was going to turn into anything, but...
Yep. So the basic Rubik's Cube that we all know is the 4x4, which you have here, right? That's what you're used to. But it says here in this competition, we'll come back to that, but how did you find out about the B Cubed competition to begin with? How did you find out about it?
I was just on YouTube one day, and I was seeing people that I follow about cubing, they're posting their first competitions, and I decided to look on the website to see what competitions would be near me, and I just saw everything outside of New Mexico, and then I saw one located in Rio Rancho, and it hasn't passed yet. So I asked my mom if I could go to it, and she said I could do that. So I went there. It was about 8 hours.
Oh, that's nice. So we're talking about a basic Rubik's Cube. There's obviously some money in some of this stuff. How much do you pay for your competition cubes?
Some of this one, it's a budget cube, so it's good, but it's not like the more higher end ones. But this one, some companies are making them better and cheaper. This one even has magnets to help align the layers so they don't misalign and get locked up.
Nice. So at the competition, you competed in all 4 events. The 4x4, obviously it's 4x4, 3x3, 2x2, and Pyramix. Tell us what Pyramix is.
It's... I don't know how to explain it that well, but...
Just a pyramid, a Rubik's Cube? How many different combinations do you have to do to solve it? Do you know?
No, but the 3x3 on this alone is 43 quintillion different ways you can mix it up and solve it.
Wow, did you hear that? That's a crazy number. So, what was the experience like? You get over there to Rio Rancho. This is your first competition. You've been watching them on YouTube. Did you make some new friends? Who did you meet? Or was it crazy over there? Like, what were
Like,
these
I
guys
kind
like?
of thought it was weird at first. Like, I didn't really know anybody, but like, they're the like people that know what I'm talking about. Like, if I go to anyone else that don't know how to solve a Rubik's Cube and is not into the same thing I am, they're gonna be kind of like not very interested. But I went to these people and I sat there. They're like cool with letting people borrow their puzzles, solve them. So that's why I solved my first 7x7, because the guy was like letting people use his cubes, and I solved one of the 7x7s.
Nice. So you did make some new friends. It says here there was competitors from Canada, Mexico. What was it like hanging out with them all day and talking about cubes? Did you
It
make
was
some friends
pretty
from
fun.
other countries? Yeah, that's awesome. Well, fans, can you show some of our fans what you got? What was your best time out of the 4 events?
My best time was 32 on this, 11 seconds on the Pyraminx.
11 seconds. And
then-
did you place in this?
Place
Play-
38th on this one, 32nd on this one. This one I placed 35th, and this one I did the best, and I placed 25th.
So 11 seconds and you get 25th place. What was the winner? How many seconds?
The winner, they got like 2-point-something seconds.
Wow, that's amazing. We had to check this out. We need to go to the next one with you, Ryan. Well, show some of our fans what you got. Let's mix one up and let's
Mix
get a
it.
timer. You want me to mix it up? I don't know if that's good. How many times did you say there? How many ways there is to mix this up?
43 quintillion.
43 quintillion. Ron can't even count to 100. We're talking about quintillion.
And then
He's so smart, yeah.
they made it to where people can't make the joke of, oh, I peel off the stickers.
Yeah, because this
And
is color plastic,
this
Ron.
is stickerless.
There's
so
no more stickers.
You can't peel off the stickers.
And you
or
heard him in our intro. That's what he used to do as a kid. That's cheating, huh?
Even this, it has tiles.
What is he teaching the kids? Just cheating on everything. Huh? I don't know how good this is mixed up, but this is as best as it's going to get. Fans, I mixed it up the best I can get. This is 3x3. And let's see how long Ryan's going to take.
And I even have a timer to tell myself.
Oh, he's got a timer. Well, while you're setting that up, I'm going to try to mix this up a little more.
He got everything perfect.
Oh, that looks easy. All right, so we're gonna do this one first. This is a 3x3 cube. This is one of your competitions. I mixed it up, fans, the best I can. And when you're ready,
And
let's-
in competition, we have 15 seconds to look at it and plan out as much stuff as we can.
okay.
And then they give us a warning, 8 seconds, 12 seconds. 15 seconds is, they give you +2 on your time. And if you go over 17 seconds, they DNF and you don't do the solve.
You're disqualified if you take more than 17. All right, so whenever you're ready, this isn't a legal competition,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna let you check it out as much as you need so you can show our fans what you're gonna do here. Tell us when you're gonna get going. All right, he started. Dang, 49 seconds. That probably would have taken me like a month and I still wouldn't have got it. 49 seconds, that's amazing. I think Ron wanted to challenge you on the 4x4, so we're going to have Ryan do one more for us. He's going to do the 4x4. Bring that over. You were mixing it up, Ron. He wants you to solve that one because
Oh,
he
this
mixed
one?
it up for you. Yeah,
Like, you could tell the difference in the turning too.
yeah.
Like how they're engineered to be faster. Like, this is a Rubik's Cube, like a Rubik's brand.
Okay.
And then this one is a Speed Cube. They're
Oh.
like not the same company.
Got you. Let me have Ron mix this up while I ask you a little bit of Ron. Mix that one up for him. We'll close the interview with that one. But you wanted to show us something that you got at this competition. You got a shirt, and Ryan wanted to show us what do you got. Let's check it out. Let me hold one end and you hold one end. Ooh, that's nice. Let's see what it says. All problems can be solved. B cubed. WCA competition. Be greater than average. That's the organization that ran it, right? And on the back it says problem solved with the check mark. Proudly supported by Albuquerque Balloon Museum and what does that say? Recreating. Wow, that's cool. So every competitor got one of these things?
You had to purchase them.
Oh, you had to purchase
They had
them?
them
So it's
for-
like if you go to a
yeah.
tournament, you get a tournament shirt, kind of like that. That's awesome. So one more thing before we see you do the 4x4. What's next? What do you plan on doing next with cubing? Do you think this can take you? Do you know if they offer scholarships for this kind of stuff? You heard us talking about they offer e-scholarships now. That's like video games. This is mathematical, using your brain. This is straight academic in my eyes. Do you think have you heard of any kind of scholarships or
I
anything they
have
offer?
not, but I hope there could be potentially in the future.
So what's next? Are you going to any more competitions? Maybe out of state?
I would like to, and maybe one out of state.
Yeah. Do you know? Do they have some in Phoenix, or what are the closest ones they have? Do you know?
I haven't looked on their website recently because they have the things set, so they have like you could look up by your region, like United States, and then you could see which ones are close to you, and it has the date for them, and then what events they have, and then you just pick the events you want, and then take those cubes.
So how many of these do you actually own? Is this your whole collection, or do you have a lot more at home?
I have a few more here, and then I have the rest in my bag.
Nice. So you have a bunch, huh? All right. So again, we want to thank Mr. Ryan Ramirez for coming on the locker room. This, in my opinion, guys, is a sport. We want to follow you. So if you go to another competition, we want to know how you did, where you're going, and hey, maybe you can get some started right here at Grants High. Maybe we could have some local competitions and get some of these guys from Albuquerque over here.
And I was also thinking of asking Mr. Weiner if like maybe I could start a thing like for during lunch or something
Like a club?
to like purchase like a few of like good ones but like not very expensive and see if I could get people to start, because one of my friends at the school knows how to solve it and he could solve it in like a minute.
Nice.
So-
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, Mr. Widener is a big fan of the locker room, so maybe he's watching, and some of us do know him, so this would be a great thing to get started maybe at GHS for some of those that want to get into this, right? So we want to thank you again for coming on, and we want to close this interview with Ryan solving the 4x4 that Ron mixed up. So he has 15 seconds to check it out, and then we're going to get him on camera here solving it. So thanks for coming on, and good luck to you this school year, man.
Thank you.
Zamax would say this is too intense for TV. Boom! And there we have Mr. Ryan Ramirez. Back to you guys. All right, guys, like I quoted the great A. Maxwell.
Great A. Maxwell.
This is too intense for TV. What'd you think about that? Cubing.
I was sweating. And like my hands got all sweaty like I was doing it. And I thought it was great, though. I thought it was real cool, man. I can't do it.
I mean, we always talk about the intensity of athleticism, and that's what you saw in his eyes. He was like,
And I'm sitting next to
wasn't
him.
messing around.
He's getting after it, breathing hard.
Yeah, and
just
then
trying
he's
to
like flipping them, and then you just hear the sound, and it like clicks. I was like,
How about the little technique, the little
And I noticed the closer he got to solving it, he used like his back fingers and he just spin it. That was cool.
Yeah,
that was
that's
awesome.
cool. That's cool.
Thank you to Ryan. That was
Thanks,
amazing.
Ryan.
People, that's a sport. That is a straight academic sport. We talked about it. I think there's a lot of math involved there, quick thinking, problem solving. That's awesome. We're going to try to help Ryan get a little club going. Talk to Mr. Widener, Mr. Gonzalez here, maybe help out. Like people say, if they're doing that stuff, they're not getting in trouble, right, guys?
That's what Grandma said, right? Before she
Yeah, I think that was
Aunt.
Aunt. His aunt was in here, so proud of him. Just couldn't believe his. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Glad to have him.
Good stuff.
So some of the special things we've been working on, like we
Here it
promised,
is, people.
the
Here it is.
coolest show. We do New Mexico sports. All you mixed martial arts fans, we have a treat for you in a while. But we're big baseball fans. Let's talk about baseball real quick. The Cubs are hanging on to the Central. The Dodgers are in the playoffs. They're in, but
Helping your team.
helping us, that's great because you'll help us succeed when you fail in the end. But Jonathan Lucroy, veteran catcher, signed by the Cubs 30 minutes ago, and we couldn't be happier to have him. Quick announcement before we get into our big baseball announcement. Men's fall ball, softball. We have a meeting next Tuesday at 6:30. And if you're interested in getting a team, please show up to that meeting at Future Foundations. We'll discuss a lot of things, and we'll see if we're going to have a fall league. So just want to throw that out there. That's men's slow pitch softball.
Okay.
So the biggest local team we have in our state, in the baseball realm, the Albuquerque Isotopes.
Baseball realm, yes.
Let's tell them what we were up to last week when it comes to the Albuquerque Isotopes.
So, like we said, we were sending emails. We're trying to expand, you know? Like we've all said it, we want to cover New Mexico area. So I was like, guys, let's set up a business email. Let's just send some emails. Worst thing they could say is no, or they don't answer. So we sent some out. One of them happened to be to the Albuquerque Isotopes, and we're asking for anything, anybody, be it management, a player, you know. And we got the director of public relations, Mr. Kevin Collins. We went over there. We did an interview in the dugout. We got a tour of the place, saw things you guys probably haven't seen, and it was great.
Kevin was so cool. He was so
awesome.
welcoming.
Yeah.
Another quick shout out to Distinct Ink. They hooked Kevin up with a large travel duffel bag and a hoodie with the locker room logo on it. And he just loved it. He said he's from Philadelphia. Even when it's 95 in Albuquerque, he was wearing a long sleeve. And he's all, I love hoodies. I'm always wearing long sleeve sweaters. I'm just used to it. So thanks to Glenn and Cammie. He loved it. That's going to be all over the Colorado Rockies organization, the Isotopes. So the locker room is in the house. Like like A-Mac said, he took us into the dugout. We did the interview. He explained some things.
We were on the field.
Some of his background. They were converting the field at the time for a
Yes.
United game. And he was letting us know how the groundskeepers were the best in the business, hands down. And you can't even tell the next day that there was a soccer game because they win awards for their baseball groundskeeping. He went into that in the interview. It was just awesome. Baseball fans, you cannot miss this next interview that we're going to cut to. Amax and I were there, Isotopes Park, the lab. He goes over the history of the name the Isotopes, some of his experiences, and what it's like to be a minor league baseball player. So let's cut to that interview with Director of Public Relations for the Isotopes, Mr. Kevin Collins.
All right, locker room fans, we have a very special guest with us today, Kevin Collins of the Albuquerque Isotopes, Director of Public Relations. We'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor, as always, Distinct Ink Custom Apparel. Thank you for all that you do for us. And also, Kevin, we brought you a gift from them.
Oh, awesome.
So
Hoodie inside there too,
we
Kevin.
got
Oh,
you
fantastic.
There's a hoodie
I love
in there
hoodies,
for you
even
as well.
when it's 100 degrees out. That's not a joke. I'm always wearing long sleeves. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I
That's for
appreciate
you.
it.
We appreciate you having us on. So
We're here in the dugout,
yeah,
hey,
we're in the
Max?
dugout, right on the field. I can edit that. So, tell us a bit about yourself, Kevin, to our locker room fans. Director of PR, what does that exactly entail?
The PR director and our communications department here at the Isotopes is it's basically just a two-man group. It's myself and Andrew Cockrum. The two of us are responsible for all of the baseball information, all the stats, all the social media, all the game notes, coordinating player interviews. Any outbound communications from the Isotopes you see is probably going to come from my desk or Andrew's, and it's a long job. The hours are long, but there are definitely worse things in the world to be doing.
Right. And are you from the Albuquerque area yourself, or?
I'm not. I'm actually from Philadelphia.
Oh, wow. Philadelphia, PA in the house. All
Go
right.
Eagles.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, go Eagles.
And how did you decide to get into this type of business?
I graduated from Northeastern University in Boston with a degree in media studies and communications, and a lot of my internships and first jobs out of college were radio and like sports radio, sports production.
Right.
And then I got a front office assistant job with the Trenton Thunder, the AA Yankees, in 2013. And then just kind of working my way up from, just a lower level person to which was a more general front office position, and then another media position, and then another one, and then I ended up here in Albuquerque.
Awesome. So like we've talked about before, it's great knowing that we have a AAA minor league baseball team that's only from where we come from for our show fans, 45 minutes, an hour away, that we can come to the games, we can cheer, we can be a part of the atmosphere. Just to be able to say that we were there, we were at that game. Can you tell us a bit about the atmosphere and of being here, and just the little things you guys come up with, like the stuff on the field and all your events you guys have out here?
Yeah, it's like I kind of mentioned before in the last one. This is my fourth minor league team I've worked for, and it's definitely the most unique team that I've been with. There seems to be something different going on every day, and it's just each game kind of has its own different atmosphere. From a regular Isotopes game, the Mariachis games definitely have their own feel to it. Walking in that it's a Mariachis game. Even the green chili cheeseburgers, the crowd's a little different. It's just definitely a very unique organization to be a part of, and it's something we try to do, and to diversify the crowd with all the promotions and different giveaways and stuff that we have going on.
Cool. For some of our fans that aren't familiar with the structure of Major League Baseball, the Isotopes organization is a AAA. That's the highest level of minor league baseball. So it's the last stop before the big show. Can you go into a little bit about how one day one of these players can be an Isotope and the next day a Colorado Rocky?
Yeah, the drop of a pin, the snap of a finger, it's really quick. If somebody gets hurt in Denver with the Rockies, you might see, one of our guys come out of the game and it's like, oh, I wonder why he left. And then you kind of go on the internet and figure out what was going on with the Rockies. It's one of the coolest things to see, actually, is players in the clubhouse packing their stuff up for the first time. I was actually just in Iowa recently with the team, and Philip Deal was getting called up for the first time, and he had a deer in the headlights type look. He's already a really young looking guy, and it was just, you could just tell it was a combination of just the happiest he's ever been, the scaredest he's ever, the most scaredest isn't a word, he's ever been, and just everybody coming around him, congratulating him and saying, you got this, and the encouragement and everything. That's one of my favorite things about working at the AAA level, is just that seeing guys get called up for the first time and how awesome it is and how everybody kind of bands together and supports that person.
And years of work, it's actually a dream come true at that point, right?
Absolutely.
As a little leaguer, you're wanting to play in the majors, and at that second, with this group of guys you guys got here, they're called up and their dream come true.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of like Philip Deal, for example, a lot of these guys are in their early 20s. They're not married. They don't have kids. So a lot of times when they get called up, it's the biggest thing that's ever happened to them in their lives. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool to actually be able to witness that.
That's awesome. Getting into a little bit, how do Major League Baseball teams and owners like the Rockies, how do they pick where their affiliates play? Obviously, New Mexico and Albuquerque in particular is lucky to have the Rockies here. But we all know the Dukes used to be the Dodgers, a big-time team. When the Isotopes started here, they were affiliates with the Marlins. Right. Now we're with the Rockies. How is that decided, or how do owners and organizations pick locations like that?
So the trend seems to be these days, so when the Dodgers left here after the 2014 season, it was because they bought their own AAA team. Okay. They bought the team in Oklahoma City. And there's a couple of Major League teams that like to actually own their AAA franchises. So I know Memphis is one of them. The Memphis and the Cardinals are together. Like I said, the Dodgers and the Oklahoma City Dodgers, and then there's a couple in the International League as well. But other than the actual ownership, like the Rockies and Isotopes geographically make sense. It's so close to get a guy up. They can, if there's no flights, they can drive and be up there in 5.5 hours, right. Or hop on a flight and be up there in an hour. It geographically makes sense. And when the Rockies first came down here to kind of scout out the Isotopes organization, I think our front office kind of fell in love with their front office and vice versa, and they saw the facilities that we have here, and they were coming from Colorado Springs, which, not to knock on Colorado Springs, but it wasn't the best facility for a AAA team, and I think they saw what we have going on here, and it just kind of blew them away, and I can't imagine the relationship going away anytime soon. We signed an extension through 2022.
Oh wow!
Right.
So we're with the Rockies for a while, and we couldn't be happier. And I know they're pretty pleased with us too.
And you go back to they're wowed by the facilities. We were talking a little before the interview. I've been to many minor league stadiums, the new beautiful stadium in El Paso, in Texas, all around. We're sitting here, fans, and we're watching them get ready for one of the New Mexico United games. And it's still just a beautiful complex. You can't even tell, like you said, that there's soccer that's played here. The grass is immaculate. And I believe the organization has won some awards, right? So that's a big attraction to come here to Albuquerque. The grounds crew in itself, it's amazing out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Every year we're either the top 1 or 2 in the grounds crew awards every year. El Paso got it last year, which I think was a ripoff, to be honest. This year, hopefully, the voting goes the right way, and Clint Belil and Ryan Coleman and the staff get it, because they're not just taking care of a baseball field now, they're taking care of a soccer field as well. And like we said before, the whole goal is to look at Isotopes Park and look at the field during a baseball game and not even realize that soccer was played on it. And I think they've absolutely done that this year. It's as green as ever, and it's the most immaculate baseball field, I think, in AAA.
I'd have to agree, and we'll get some shots of it and put them up here at the end of the interview for you fans.
Definitely will. We sure will. Let's go back to how you brought up the mariachis now. So this started back in 2018,
last year, yeah.
Right? Okay. So, and this is part of like minor league baseball, celebrating Hispanic heritage, and we love that. And so how many games exactly do they do this for, and will it continue down the road?
So it started last year with 4 games. We thought that was a good number, and we kind of spaced them out. And then with how successful it was, we realized that this year in 2019 we wanted to have 1 a month. So we upped it to 5. We play on the road as the Mariachis a lot when other teams do their Copa Identity things, and it's really, I think, having that other team, like when El Paso came here a couple times this year, they played as the Margaritas.
Right.
And so that's really a cool thing to do to kind of spread the love around. But I think we knew it was going to be successful. We just didn't realize how well the community was going to embrace it. And that's one of the reasons why we didn't want to be called the Albuquerque Mariachis or the Mariachis de Albuquerque. That's why we wanted to throw in New Mexico. We wanted to bring everybody in the state. And it's kind of shown just with the feedback we've gotten and the success and how we're still averaging 13,000 people roughly a game for the Mariachis. And it served the purpose in getting some people out to the ballpark that normally wouldn't come out.
Right.
And just welcoming everybody, making sure everybody knows that this is a place, that everybody's welcome, and I think the Copa initiative is really doing a good job with that.
That's awesome. And then so we'll hear sometimes people be like, "Oh, I'm going to the Mariachis game. I'm not even the Isotopes, just the Mariachis." And then so you guys also play a game or two here and there as the Dukes, right? Is that just paying history, homage to the history?
Yeah, everybody always says, "Oh, why don't you bring back the Dukes?"
Right.
So we do once a year. We just had it this 2 Sundays ago here. We had our Dukes Retro Night. Usually goes hand in hand with the Hall of Fame induction. This year was a slower year in terms of the Hall of Fame, so we're looking to bring that back again next year. But yeah, I don't think Dukes Night is really going anywhere. We actually had a really cool thing on Dukes Retro Night. A gentleman by the name of Tom Jordan came out. Tom is 99 years old.
Oh, wow.
He's considered the oldest living professional baseball player. He lives in the Roswell area. He played for the Dukes in the 50s. Oh, wow. And so we got him a Dukes jersey and hat, and he came out and threw out the first pitch, and it was one of the cooler moments, personally, because that's being such a baseball nerd.
Yeah.
Like for baseball promotions, that was one of the coolest things that I think I've been a part of here.
That's awesome.
That's cool. So, any up-and-coming players in the Colorado organization that's worth mentioning? I know there's tons of baseball players, there's tons of leagues, but like you said, you're a baseball geek. I'm a baseball geek. I like to try to follow it. I think you're doing a great job, by the way, and you have the dream job, you really do. But is there any young players coming up in the Rockies organizations that we need to keep an eye out for?
Yeah, they're always taking our good players. They took Brendan Rodgers earlier this year, a top 10 major league prospect, and unfortunately he got hurt, so his season's done. But we've still got a couple of really good guys here. Sam Hilliard is one to look out for. He's an outfielder. He's on the 40-man. It really looked like earlier this season he was going to come close to a 30-30 season. He might just fall short in stolen bases. He's going to hit over 30 home runs and, again, come close to 30 stolen bases. He's got a cannon for an arm. It's a left-handed bat. Definitely somebody that I see the Rockies calling up in September. Jonathan Daza, he just went 5 for 5 the other day and raised his batting average 9 points in the end of July, which is insane. Wow. He's always at the top of the league in batting average. He's been up with the Rockies a couple times this year. Again, good speed. Made a heck of a play at the hill. The first pitch the other day, runs up the hill, makes a jump. Almost looked like it was going to rob him of a home run, and it was a great catch. He's got a guy that's going to stick somewhere, if not the Rockies, maybe a trade or something like that. But he's definitely got some major league potential. And Peter Lambert was a pitcher we had here for a little bit last year and then a little bit this year that the Rockies took from us, which, they're want to do. Dom Nunez is another one. He's a catcher. He's got power. He's really good behind the plate. He's got a good arm, throwing people out, left-handed bat. I'm going to be interested to see what the Rockies do with him. I think they need to take a good look at him to see if he can be an everyday major league catcher. Because from what I've seen, he's outplayed AAA at this point.
That's awesome. And we always hear about the isotopes in the community, not only here in Albuquerque, but across the state. You mentioned kind of that's why you went towards Mariachis de Nuevo Mexico instead of just of Albuquerque. And even some of our little league teams from Grants, they come, they're able to get on the field. How important is that to the organization, getting out in the community? And does it fare well all the time? I mean, you guys are always out there doing something.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point. We have our community relations manager, Michelle Montoya, who we affectionately call Orbit's mom. She takes Orbit out on over 300 appearances a year.
Yeah, he comes to the library out in Grants every year.
It's unbelievable the work she puts in, the work Orbit puts in, and our players too. Like you said, we if they catch a 4 a.m. flight, the last thing they want to do when they come back to Albuquerque is go out in the community, but they do it because they understand that the only reason they're here is because of the fans.
Right.
And they do it with a smile on their faces, and they're happy to do it. A lot like the youth skills clinics that we have every year too. When they come out, they take a Saturday out of their lives, and usually in very hot conditions, to teach these kids the fundamentals of baseball. There's usually 8 or 9 of them out here 2 times a year for our clinics, and just I think they get excited because they see how happy the kids are and how happy they're making. They're rock stars to these kids.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And they understand their role in the community and how we push the community aspect of Isotopes baseball.
That's awesome.
I get super excited myself. I just went up front and I had to pick up my Smith tickets that I got from buying groceries. But and I've already been to several games this year. I feel like we could go on and just get pecking your knowledge and keep going. But before we leave you guys, is there any special events, promotions, things you might want to shout out real quick before we head out?
Yeah, we have one more Mariachis night. That's going to be on August 11th. We got 2 things going on that night. It's the Ballet Folklorio bobbleheads that we're giving out. It's pretty cool. It's a really unique bobblehead. And then that night's also going to be a lowrider night. We're going to have dozens of lowriders out here that people can take a look at. It's going to be basically like a car show on the warning track.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We had some out here for a photo shoot, and they're pretty cool. And then actually a couple days before that, on Friday, August 9th, we're going to have our first ever science night. And I mean, we're called the Isotopes, so why not have a science night? We're going to have experiments all throughout the ballpark. It seems like a great back-to-school thing for the kids because we're also giving away backpacks that day too. So that should be a really fun thing. We're also wearing these super cool periodic table jerseys that we're going to auction off. We did a lot of time and work went into the design of that, and we were so happy with the outcome. They look really cool. And then just one more month of baseball left. Some fan appreciation nights, fireworks nights. Just head to our website and check it out.
Cool. So before we go, I know you know the story to this. Everyone asks, why the Isotopes? Is it really? We see the Homer and Marge up on the concourse. Is it really from the episode of The Simpsons, or how did the Isotopes come here to Albuquerque?
So when the Dukes left in 2000 and the franchise from Calgary moved down, so that's another little common misconception. The franchise that was the Dukes was never the Isotopes. That team's actually in El Paso right now.
Okay.
And who the Isotopes came from Calgary. And around that time in 2000, 2001 was when that episode of The Simpsons aired called Hungry Hungry Homer, when Homer discovers that the Springfield Isotopes are going to move to Albuquerque and goes on a hunger strike. And
that episode.
And so when everything was coming in motion and the team got finally settled here in Albuquerque, the real life Albuquerque franchise, there was a name the team contest with the old Albuquerque Tribune, and their names were the Isotopes because of that episode. I think it was the Roadrunners, the 66ers, and then I think the Dukes. And the Isotopes won. They got more than half of the vote.
Oh wow.
And it was the confluence of events that was the Simpsons and the team moving here. And so it was definitely based on the Simpsons, but with New Mexico's science history and nuclear history, it also makes perfect sense too, as a nod to the history of the state.
That's awesome. Cool. That's cool.
So you guys heard it, fans. Get on the website, get you some tickets. There's only about a month and a half left of this baseball. Get out here, come check out some of these special event nights. And I'm looking forward to it. I'll be out here. I know Joaquin will be out here. Kevin, once again, thank you for coming on with us.
Thanks,
we
Kevin.
really appreciate it. And we're going to get you guys some shots of the field, shots of the stadium. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. So that was an awesome interview with Mr. Kevin Collins. being a baseball fan, I've been on the field with the Isotopes, with the Knuckleheads and stuff, but I was just totally geeked out. It seems like we were the only ones there.
Yeah.
And he seemed a little nervous, but he was very professional. And
He was cool.
As you saw, he talked about everything and anything. He could tell he's just a baseball guy. What'd you think about that, Ron?
I'm jealous, basically, that I couldn't be there.
Jelly.
Big
Peanut
time.
butter and jelly.
But hey, it's a good step forward for the locker room brand. You know,
Yeah.
It is.
earning that respect as a valid as a media outlet. That's
For
just
our
the beginning,
resume.
you know?
Yes, sir.
It was great.
Yeah. Hey, you guys did a heck of a job with that. That was totally awesome.
Thanks, Ron. We missed you. We really did. I'm not joking. We wanted you there, but
Yeah.
we know
Ron
you
was
were.
there, but he just wasn't there.
He was,
in the city.
he was taking care of some sale business, which
Yeah,
we're going to
that's
get
right.
into
That's
later.
right. That's right.
Later on. All right, so you all know MMA is getting huge. We cover it here. AMAX does a great job on covering the UFC, some of the other MMA outlets. Did you know that Albuquerque is world renowned from MMA training? Jackson Wink MMA Academy is one of the top training facilities in the world. And
Not just
big names like John Jones train there. They come from all over the country. Holly Holm is a local product. Speaking of Holly Holm, we have some UFC updates that AMAX is going to go into, and another surprise on the horizon
One more.
right after he's done here.
Okay, so like Joaquin said, Holly Holm will return, okay, to the place of one of the most vicious and maybe surprising for some knockouts in UFC history, right? So Holm is 12-5 currently. She has agreed to fight the first person she fought in the UFC, Raquel Pennington, who is now 10-7 at UFC 243, which will be pay-per-view in October. Okay, and this will be in Melbourne, Australia. Now, Melbourne, Australia was the place where the knockout happened, where she beat Ronda Rousey with the head kick.
Sent her to the WWE.
Sent her to the WWE. Okay, she's fighting in that same place. So we're hoping she comes out on top after she had that loss, her last fight for the ship. Also on that card is one I've been looking forward to. Robert Whittaker is finally coming off of his injury. He's going to face Israel Adesanya, who is undefeated. Okay, so you got the undisputed champ versus the interim champ for that middleweight title. It's going to go down. So that's going to be good. Check out for that card. This coming up Saturday, UFC Fight Night main event will be a women's flyweight title fight with Valentina Bullet Shevchenko versus Liz Gorilla Carmouche.
See what they did there? Gorilla.
Clever. Very clever.
So that should be very good. Okay, so check that out. That's this weekend, just the UFC Fight Night. Now, let's get back to Jackson Wink.
Let's get back to locker room business.
For the next surprise for you guys. So, like I said before, and I said it twice, and I'll say it again, got to send in emails. And I said, what did I say, Ron? Said the worst thing they can say is no, or they don't answer. Sent one to Jackson Wink, MMA Academy. Just said, hey, you know, we're looking for an interview. I'm not going to tell you guys my whole business email, but it went well. We got emailed back.
What do you know?
What do you know,
Me and
man?
AMAX are sitting at the desk of Michael Lubinoff. If you don't know Michael Lubinoff, go Google him right now.
Yeah,
he is the
look him
general manager of Jackson Wink
He
MMA
runs
Academy.
the show there. He runs the show there, guys.
And we were at his desk for an interview that we're bringing to our fans here in a couple seconds.
Please watch it all. It's a little long, but it was great. I mean, I was in there. We felt like just, we shouldn't even be here, man. We're just
Totally geeked
we
out.
were
So
like in awe, like starstruck. And
we're sitting there, and who walks by?
we're sitting there, okay, and then he's like, look right there through the window, Aaron Pico.
Aaron Pico, who's
we-
just on SportsCenter, Ron.
We've mentioned him on the show. He just started training there, and he's a big name. He's hoping to come up, you know. So there's fighters walking by, dudes and women, and they're just like beasts. And it's great experience. We got a tour. We saw both coaches.
Greg Jackson
Greg-
and
yeah.
Winkle John right
And
there
Winkle's
training.
right there. Greg Jackson's running on the treadmill. He's training himself. His sweat is flying on me and Joaquin.
And we can't even talk because we're starstruck, Ron.
So it was great. It was awesome. We saw the dorms. We'll have some videos of our little tour that we'll probably post on the page somewhere for you guys to see. But the whole experience was just awesome.
So just like AMAC said, it's a little long, but this guy is the creme de la creme of MMA. He talks about the growth of the sport, on how fast it's growing, how it took boxing 350 years to grow. And you look at the pioneers when boxing started, and this sport is just exploding faster than ever. He talks about some women fighters. Obviously, Holly Holm's not the only. To us, she's the most important because she's from right here in Albuquerque.
Right.
But, I mean, we walk through the gym. There's a couple of girls from Brazil just getting after it with Coach Winklejohn. We couldn't believe it. There's people from all over the world that come and live at this academy to get trained by the best right here in Albuquerque. He talks about the benefits of training in Albuquerque. He talks about their travel schedule. He talks about, these guys
Some
love
of the
it.
greats that are like,
George St. Pierre. All these guys are on the wall. All these guys
Karate
have trained.
Hottie, Michelle
Signatures.
Watterson, another good one, the Karate Hottie. Andre Arlovsky goes on and
BJ
on.
Penn.
Oh yeah, we saw that too. You'll see it in the video, but we go into their kitchen and all these autographs are all over the walls. You'll see it. You see BJ Penn's autograph, Dana White, John Jones. Just the list goes on.
And he mentions how everyone that goes there, including himself and the coaches, it's a 24/7 academy. People from all over the world go live there. They have dorms. I mean, these guys, he said, pretty much just train, eat, and sleep.
That was it.
And we saw about 60 of them
Yeah.
that were all professionals signing UFC contracts that they're training right there. And man, it's just crazy intense. But here's the interview with Michael Lubinoff, the general manager of Jackson Wink MMA Academy.
All right, locker room fans, we got a special treat for you guys. We're here with the general manager of Jackson Wink MMA Academy, Mr. Michael Lubinoff, and we want to give a shout out to our locker room sponsors, Distinct Ink, Custom Apparel. So give them a call for all your apparel needs. And also, Michael, we brought you a gift.
Oh, wow, thank you.
For having us on here.
Oh, wow.
We got you a little bag.
Jesus, that's awesome.
There's also a cool hoodie inside
There's a
for
cool
you.
hoodie inside there for you.
Let's see. Oh, that's so nice of you. Wow, that's awesome.
It has our logo on there for you.
Yeah.
And it's not.
All right.
So we appreciate you having us on.
100%. Thank you guys.
So first off, we'll just start off with tell us a bit about yourself, and then like being general manager, what are your daily duties? What exactly?
Yeah, man, that's a very busy place. Obviously, I have. It's kind of like almost one-man type of show, I work closely with Coach Wink and Coach Greg Jackson, but the daily routine obviously is pretty busy. Like I literally pretty much work 24/7. Unless I'm sleeping, because I have my cell phone, connected to the office number, so I get calls nonstop all day long. From every part of the world that you can think of.
Oh,
Sometimes
wow.
I look at like Norway, China, Canada. So. Yeah, pretty much manage the whole building. We have between 40 to 50 fighters living here at the gym. We have dormitories, apartments, and stuff like that. So that takes a lot of my energy to manage that. Just manage new reservations. Answering questions to people that want to train here. Dealing with a lot of sponsors, media, as yourselves. Different queries. Just wherever projects we work. I also run the shop next door too, for like memorabilia and gear and things like that. I have a little cafe shop over there. And then, pretty much as you would think, like whatever, business requires, I deal with everything really. When we moved in this building, because the other gym used to be on the other side of town, it was a much smaller place, So I opened this place with Coach Wink, he obviously hired me to run this. We walked in, there was nothing here really, it was just white walls and stuff. So, and then I was collecting all this memorabilia and stuff and kind of making the place look like a gym really, and especially it's a legendary gym, right? So I I'll paint that picture of how much history is in here, and after we finish, I'll take you inside so you can see. You know?
Awesome.
Right,
That'd be
and-
great.
Yeah, and we have a doctor office upstairs, nutritionist, and like I said, people living here, so I have constant people moving in and out. So just someone always needs me for something. You know? So plus we got fights happening every weekend, almost all over the world. So I help out with that. So pretty much everything has to do with it, with this business. I'm like literally in the middle of it.
Wow, so you're the big businessman. Do you yourself, do you have a fighting background or any type of stuff like
I'm
that?
a brown belt with 4 stripes in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Actually gained my black belt in October.
Oh, cool.
San Diego, you know. I competed in Jiu-Jitsu. I competed in trained Sambo back in Russia. I'm from Russia originally. Combat Sambo, Judo, you know, just that type of stuff.
Nice.
And then so far, well, for those who aren't too familiar with MMA, can you kind of throw a little bit of knowledge about the sport of mixed martial arts?
On that, I mean, I would think at this point, pretty much almost everyone is familiar somewhat with MMA because it's one of the, fastest growing sports.
Yeah,
and
it's blown up.
And what's crazy is that this all happened within our life, like our time frame, right? Like if boxing has a history of like hundreds of years
Right.
old, right? When we weren't even alive, right? Like
Right.
we are actually in the beginning stages of the sport developing, right? I mean, if you look at it, I mean, I'm like 39 now. Actually, sorry, 40. And this all happened in our time frame, like in our life.
Right.
Beginning of the sport and the way it took off and to where it's now. 25 years, yeah, maybe, right? So, as I always say, and as I talk to John Jones and any of these guys, I'm like, guys, you like, Rocky Marciano of the sport, like the Dempsey's,
Right.
the Dempsey's of the sport, like the Joe Louis's of the sport.
Right,
When people are gonna, 100 years from now talk about it, they're gonna be talking about John Jones.
Yeah, they're gonna be looking back.
Like we talk about the founded fathers of like boxing sport, right? When it was like, from back in the day when the black and white videos, still exist and it shows classic fights. And also, it's a popular sport. It's just something that I call these guys modern day gladiators. People always like watching combat, right? So, and with personalities like Conor McGregor and John Jones and all these top guys coming to the sport and they're polarizing the sport and making it big, So the sport is mainstream. It's on every major channel now,
Yeah.
right? Like on big channels, Fox, and before it was Spike with TV, which is big too, right?
Right.
And then they took over, went to Fox and now ESPN, and there's no stopping it, right? It's one of the guys are making money, and you see it in the purses too. They grow, like the purses growing, and guys
Yeah.
are making crazy amount of money, at the top, obviously. So it shows that it's still obviously a lot of guys compared to boxing, right? Where boxers make so much more money because obviously the sport much older, much more established versus where MMA is now. But I think with social media and everything, right? That's why I think it took off so big. That
Yeah.
it's picking up much faster than boxing would have been, right? Because back then you just saw a newspaper, right? And you saw, Joe Louis fighting or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Now it's, if you weren't interested in it or whatever, if you didn't look at the sports section, right? Then you'd never care or you'd never know who Joe Louis was, right? Now it's like they show a fight here, everyone all around the world knows about it, right? So because you share, people follow each other. It's mainstream. So that's why I'm thinking it's going to get there much faster than boxing did. That's what I would say. Because we're living in a different age of social media, where information just like that, right? So, but people say it's a violent sport, this and that, but I'll say boxing is way more violent, as we just saw.
Right.
With 2 boxers dying literally
That's
on
right.
the same weekend, which is such terrible news, because MMA is more diversified. There's so many different ways to win or lose. You know, it's submissions, and then you know it's only 3 rounds, so you're not really getting pounded for 12 rounds in the head. You know, with
Exactly.
brain rattles and stuff. So there's wrestling, there's jiu-jitsu, there's grappling, there's so many different things involved in MMA that I think makes it a little bit safer, but I would say it's more dangerous on like your back, your shoulders, your knees, and things like that, because you're always in
On your
you
body.
know, on your body is
Yeah.
taxing like crazy. But you know, I'd rather have that than getting punched in the face for 12 rounds.
That's
you know?
right.
So either way, both sports are dangerous, but you know, they're giving an avenue to all these young kids and guys that try to come up and make some good of themselves, you know. Otherwise they'd be in the street doing a lot of stupid things, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good avenue for people to make a living and to live an honest life and do the right things, you know, by training and hoping, you know, you get to big leagues and you can feed your family and stuff. So it's definitely there.
Right.
So Greg Jackson and Mike Winklejohn are widely considered to be some of, if not the best, coaches in all of MMA. This gym is in the same category. They, along with the gym, have won many awards. What is it like to work with them so closely, and are you able to learn and implement new techniques into what you do every day?
Oh yeah, 100% all the time. I mean, I love these guys, man. It's like, but the best man I've ever met. I mean, like, I have that picture over there, you know. Of course, like 3 boldies, you know. You know, it's like almost look related and stuff. But yeah, man, they gave me that shot, man. They gave me an opportunity, and I took it and ran with it and created something really cool, you know, with these guys, and it's. Yeah, they're the most original. I mean, they're the pioneers of the sport, really, of coaching and things like that. And if it comes down to talking about the greatest coaches of all time, they're on top, right? They're in there, you know. So it's pretty.
Sorry, Boston State. Excuse me.
Interview. You guys edited, right?
Yeah, we can edit it.
Sorry, guys.
You're all right.
I wasn't even paying attention.
So yeah, it's like I always bring this out when people talk about it. I was one time on somewhere on social media searching around or whatever, and somebody like said the question like, "Hey, who are the greatest coaches in MMA?" You know, and obviously people bring up Greg and Wink and stuff like that, and then people are like, "Oh no, it's like Dwayne Ludwig or John Cavana, you know, with McGregor, whatever, blah blah blah," and then I guess they said, "Oh, and Firas Zahabi, you know, from TriStar and stuff like that." So all great coaches, you know, and then I'm looking into it and I started laughing because the guys that they named, Dwayne Ludwig and Firas Zahabi, who are the top coaches in the world, are actually Greg Jackson's students.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So, and I always laugh at it, like, okay, guys,
Yeah.
I guess, and then I look at whoever was writing all that nonsense, you know, it's like 15-year-old kid who doesn't have any understanding of like the sport, you know, how people on social media
Yes.
talk a bunch of crap, you know, without knowing anything, right?
Right.
So just whatever. So, but if you know the sport and you follow it, and you know, that's, yeah, I mean, this coach has done so much. I mean, we're talking about thousands and thousands of cornering fights. You know, every weekend is somewhere around the world traveling back and forth. You know, so to me that's like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, on the plane, 3 planes, and back to forth, just sitting in the plane just drives me nuts. Actually supposed to go to Russia with Cordy Eastman, our heavyweights, hopefully to compete in front of like President Putin. It might be like a closed event. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. But there's like three flights. You know, I'm just thinking about it. It really gives me shit. Like, you know, I can't sleep on the plane. You know, it seems like special one. And these guys do it every week.
Yeah.
Some part of the country or the world, they're flying back and forth, back and forth. You know, they go on Friday or Thursday, whatever, and they're back on Sunday already. So it's like, you know, it takes special will, and then they go there, and they got to hold mitts like Coach Wink, you know, like a robot, like a machine, like non-stop, you know. Like, how does your shoulders still work, man? You know, like taking hits from like guys like John Jones and Alistair Overeem, Andre Arlovski, all these big heavyweights or smaller guys.
Yeah.
Whatever. So these guys are special, straight up, special individuals that just developed such a big movement, you know.
So many fighters call Jackson Wink home, as you said. A lot of them live here even because it's one of the best in the world. Besides the coaching, what do you think draws them here? There's up and comers and established fighters that come to train here from all over the world, like you said. So why Jackson Wink? Why do they come here? What draws them in here?
Well, because people want to be associated with success, right? So if we produce so many successful fighters and you're coming up, right? So obviously, wouldn't you want to be surrounded by where the success is at, you know? So they come here not just because of that, but also, I mean, first of all, it's not to do in Albuquerque, but train and train and train and train. It's high elevation, you know, it's really good for training. The mountains, the air, the climate.
That's what I've heard
You
about.
know,
Yeah.
so tons of training partners from all around the world. Aaron Pico right there working, you know, he's a world champion wrestler, you know, so guys like that, you know, wouldn't you want to be on the mats with somebody like that, picking their brain and obviously the coaching, yeah, I mean, you can't dispute that, the coaching, even now amateur coach Joey Lewis in New York, who's 40 pro fights and 4 all around the world and multiple time cage champion, you know, so everything, just everything, you know, you put everything together and this is where you want to be if that's what you want to do. If you want to build a career in MMA, you surround yourself with people that have done it, right, and they continue doing it. So we have a very strong amateur team, you know, so which is packed all the time and they're showing great results. So we get a lot of amateur fighters or pros, you know, and we build these guys up the right way. You know, we start them amateur, they, like in the beginner level. We don't really take beginners, but like in order to join an amateur team, you have to have some kind of martial arts background so that we can build on something, you know. We have a family gym where we take people, you know, like that have no experience, but before joining this, you have to have some kind of base.
Right.
You know, so that's pretty much, I guess, your question, you know.
And then, like you were saying, like how you just walk by, what's it like, you know, just seeing those guys? 'Cause me, I would be like just starstruck, kind of, you know. But what's it like? And these big names and some of the ones, you know, that used to train here and some still train here. And
Well, it's one of those things you get used to, like everything
Yeah.
else. I mean, I still do get. It's hard not to get, you know, because I mean, I grew up watching these guys, and I've been following MMA since forever, you know. And then being in this position to work with these guys, it's mind blowing, you know. But I mean, everything happens for a reason, right? So I mean, I ended up here doing what I love, and it's an honor, honestly, you know.
Right.
It's an honor, just and training with them, like rolling with Carlos Condit or Diego Sanchez, where I was still the ring and training with them and just picking their brains and just, it's, yeah, it's one of those things.
And then we like to remind people too, like when we're talking about sport of MMA, it's not just like UFC, but you have Bellator, you have One Championship, you have Ryzen, you have. So these guys are training for like numerous things, right?
Oh yeah. We got fights. Diego Brandão there. He's getting ready for fights in Russia. You know, got. I mean, it's just everyone training for something. You know, some guys just train and they don't have anything coming up. They just keep in shape and staying ready. Because it's literally it's 24/7 type of sport, man. Because like a lot of the guys in the beginning of their careers, like. They get a lot of short notice fights,
Right.
so they don't know what's coming or it's not. They're just searching for fights all the time while they're training, you know. A lot of fights happen on 2 weeks' notice, 1 week notice even, you know. So, yeah, and because we're such a big big name, we get contacted a lot. But hey, do you have this fighter, have that fighter? So, you know, there's always opportunities for these guys. And if you want to build a career, you got to fight
Right.
a lot, and you got to win. You got to get experience. You got to perform under pressure. You got to learn how to cut weight. You have to learn how to diet right. There's so many great things, and in the beginning, that it's not rewarding really, except you know the feeling of winning or whatever, you know, dealing with your losses or whatever. But you know, only top, I don't know, 5%, 10% that make it, you know, in UFC that can feed the family from this type of sport, you know, in UFC or other organizations, small organizations that pay well. But it's a long road, you know, and you don't know, you know, because you're one injury away from not doing it, you know, and then what do you fall back on? It's a risky type of you know, career path, I would say. But, you know, it's still rewarding to the point of like just self, I guess, indulgence, and where like just love doing it.
Right.
Like I love training. I'm not competing, but I train every day. You know what I mean, like I'm addicted to it. Like this is something that I need to do. But thank God I have this to fall back on. But a lot of these guys, like it's almost what 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. You know, and that's a fool with so many fighters. You know, most people are working, right? This they work without pay yet. So in hopes of that they'll
Right.
make it, you know. So it's
In hopes of getting paid.
in hopes of getting paid down the road. And
What is your take on how big women's fighting is becoming? I mean, it just continues to blow up. Every time we turn around, there's an up and coming woman fighter. Obviously, the local star here, Holly Holm, trains here. She, like you mentioned, pioneers of the game. She's one of the ones that transitioned from boxing to UFC. But we look and we see all these big time names in UFC that are women now. What is your take on that? And do you see that just continuing to blow up?
oh yeah. I mean, that's not stopping anyway anytime soon. Yeah, I mean, it's like they deserve as much of a chance as anyone else, right? If this is something like Holly's addicted to the sport too. I mean, like. You know, and then we got Michelle Waters and Jody Escobar. We got so many girls in there, like it's insane, and they love fighting. You know, they just it's not stopping anytime soon. Especially where they start getting paid now, and getting recognized that they have a lot of girls in UFC, and they constantly sign new girls. You know, and then there's Invicta FC, and then there's a lot of. In Bellator, they fight overseas, and they fight everywhere. So yeah, the girls are tough, man. There's a lot of girls that like you train with them though. If you're like an amateur fighter, but let's say you're a male, right? And I mean, they can kick your ass.
Yeah.
Like a lot of girls, like Holly, she will beat the crap out of most of the guys. You know, so it's like if that's something you like to do, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean. As people say sometimes, it's not for girls. No, man, it's like, it's a grown sport, so it's something they want to do, they do.
That's right.
It's like,
That's what they say, like girls can do anything guys can do. And so with the coaches here, does each coach have like a specialty per se, or do they have like a combination of backgrounds? Like, say, do you have one guy that's specializes in Muay Thai, or one guy that, you know what I mean?
yes and no, really. I mean, because we're an MMA, so you have to be well-rounded coach,
Right.
but you have your strength and then your overall knowledge, so it's not like, okay, you want to learn this, you just go to this guy. No, it's everything, we train MMA, I mean, we do get guys ready for straight up separate, like, if you want to train, like, boxing, like Coach Wing, he can get you ready for boxing. He won like 18 world championships with Holly, in boxing, and he's an MMA, kickboxing coach, striking coach. So, and then Greg Jackson, he's more ground specialist and strategist, but at the end of the day, they pretty much, we always work together. They all develop these plans and how it all works and stuff like that. It would be impossible to be just one way, you have to be. I mean, even if we had a guy that came in, he was just Muay Thai guy, and we worked with him and turned him into a more of a MMA coach. Because you can't be a straight out Muay Thai guy and teach these guys Muay Thai while they stand up straight and they walk forward, with throwing elbows and knees, while they're so susceptible to takedowns and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to change your coaching things, right? Your coaching. They understand how to coach these guys, because it's a different sport. You can't focus on just one thing. And that Muay Thai guy going in, but he doesn't, he gets taken down, then it's no good, right? So you have to change your stance, you have to hit differently, punch differently, you have to be aware of different things. So, but yeah, guys have specialties, but
Gotta be well-rounded.
you have to be,
Right. Jump in there and then just. So do you guys have? Do you guys have like some type of, say, like a scholarship type, sponsorship type deal maybe, or have you thought about, like, say for a up and coming local fighter, and he's trying, but maybe he doesn't have, because I know training costs money and whatnot. But is there something like that you guys have done before?
Yeah, we it's kind of like, I don't want to, no, not that I don't want to put it out there, but like, yeah, we help guys. Of course we help guys.
Right.
So many talented kids that just can't make it in this world, but like, and they need this, and they're so good at it. And guys that come out of college and they want to fight,
Right.
like guys that never went to college, but they have high school wrestlers, they're like state champions, or like they play football and they're so strong. There's a lot of guys come through that are like physical specimens, you know, and then, you know, they just want to stick with this and see where it takes them and stuff. And we help out guys a lot. I mean, we help out a lot, but it's hard because like if you know you have one guy, then everyone wants help and stuff. So you have to be like really freaking good to really for us. And you know, even if some guys that are really good and they can make the ends meet, they take care of us, we take care of them and stuff. It's no problem, but we do take care of a lot of people and stuff, you know, because always, you know, it's still a business. It's still I have to generate revenue to keep this lights on, right? So, but there's a lot of kids that, you know, and they pay back, you know. Like we have kids that we took care of and now boom, they're in big leagues already, you know what I'm saying? So, and then they start paying back the gym and stuff, you know. There's nothing in this world is free, right? I mean, they say like, hey, you're all about money, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, do you go to work for free? Or like, I mean, how you pay your bills? What do you do? Like, people that say that, it's literally crazy stupid. Sorry, but yeah, no one does anything for free, really, if you think about it. You know? So you're trying to make your ends meet and get sponsors so you can take care of it and you can go travel and do interviews and things like that, right? This is a huge overhead. Look at this building. So people that say like, oh, you're about money. Yes, I'm about money. So are you. And every single person in this world.
The entire world, yes.
Yeah, if you can make money, you want to make money. You're not just going to say, yeah, I didn't need money. Of course everyone wants money.
Yeah.
So you pay bills, you take care of your kids, you take care of your family. I have 2 sons. I'm supposed to give stuff away for free, everyone, take care of everyone. It's hard. It's very hard. So people look up to you and they're like, oh, help, help, help. But, you know, we do the best we can.
Right.
Awesome. Cool, so this place has definitely put Albuquerque and for that, New Mexico on the map. What do you, not originally being from here, what do you think of the area? You mentioned some of the altitude and for being perfect for training, but personally, how do you like the area?
I love it, man. I want to live here forever, to be honest with you. I love Albuquerque. I live by the mountain. It's so beautiful here, the climate, man. I just love Albuquerque. There's no traffic. I'm from East Coast, man. I lived there for a while. Lived in Russia, grew up in Russia and stuff. Just older I get, more, you know, obviously, like, you just want to chill, you know, so you don't deal with much stuff. Yeah, there's certain negative things here, obviously, about, you know, crime and that and this and that, you know, it's kind of crazy, but, yeah, if you don't look for it, you know, like I always say, if you look for it, you'll find it, you know, but if you stay away from it and live a good life, it's just a beautiful place, Albuquerque, you know, very beautiful, clean, nice, especially, like, on the other side of town. I like it.
Awesome. And then, well, before we let you go, do you guys have any special events, promotions, or things you're doing in the community you might want to shout out, let people know about?
The biggest thing for community that we do, we have our nonprofit organization that we run. It's called Incredible Adaptive MMA, where we help a lot with kids with disabilities to train.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, we have over 40 kids that we help. It's growing great, like crazy, really. I mean, as the first time we started, it just blew up. So we're always looking for sponsors and things like that. We're doing a golf event, I think this weekend coming up. Yeah, this weekend golf event where Howard Holmes is going to play, Carlos Condit is going to be there, and things like that. So in support of this program, you know, I think there is a lot of money already because we have to care coaches, equipment, and gear, and a lot of different things for these kids, you know. So we use our position for that. So pretty much, yeah, this is the biggest thing that we do. But I get approached a lot by pretty much almost you know, everyone here in town, especially, hey, can do this, can do that. So it's also hard as well, because I have only so much time in the day, and I hate turning people down, you know. Because like, hey, can you help my kid? You know, he's a big fan of Holly Holm, and I'm having, you know, he's battling some sickness, and it's just every day I get 3 or 4 emails with someone asking for something all the time, and it's like, that's another thing to deal with, you know, trying to pick and choose what you can do, what you can't do. And usually for most of the, like if people are looking to get higher name fighters like John Jones and Holly, like you have to contact their management, you know, so at least I have that avenue, because I can't, you know, we train them, but they don't, they have their own managers, you know, that manage their inquiries and things like that, so. But I mostly deal with just the gym and gym stuff, you know, so.
Well, on behalf of the locker room and all of Cibola County, we have a lot of MMA fans in Cibola County. We thank you for taking time out of your day and sitting down and talking with us. I know you're a busy man, but thank you very much for talking to us, and we hope you enjoy your gear there. I know you probably have tons of gear, but it's a little unique taste from the locker room. So.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to like join the team or have get any information, then go through our website, jacksonwing.com. So that's where we recruit. You know, that's how people go, fill out the application, and I get back to them. You know, if they want to train here. So that's the best way to get information about the gym.
And we love the way you talked about it's an avenue for a lot of kids that may not have the means to do anything like college or anything, but they have talent, and it's an avenue for them to be successful instead of being on the streets. And I think that was huge. It's a big takeaway. So like he said, get on the website if you're interested in joining up the team, get paying for a membership and training here. And this is an awesome interview. Thanks again.
Make sure you have a base. Get you started on that, you know what I mean? When you fill out that inquiry.
Yeah. And it's not that expensive, trust me. If you send in the inquiry, I will get information for you, but it's not crazy expensive. You know, cost of living here is not, you know, it's not as bad as
not outrageous,
New York or California or whatever, you know, so it's pretty affordable to train.
So there you have it, jacksonwing.com. Check that out. Thank you to Michael Lubomov again, General Manager, Jackson Wink MMA Academy. There you have it.
There it is, fans. The interview with the GM, Michael Lubomov. We want to thank him again for allowing us into his gym, giving us the royal treatment, pretty much.
Yeah, he was very open. He was great, man. Thank you, Michael. That was great.
And Michael said that people reach out to them all the time, and he's hard to keep up, but he likes doing this. And if we ever want to talk to some up and coming fighters, that we're always welcome. So thank you for that. Next time, we're definitely taking Ron. We just missed Holly and John. They were training earlier, but I mean, it's all business there. It's not like you go in there and you talk to them and get autographs. It's straight business, right?
Yeah. They'll beat you up.
Yeah.
You mess with them, they'll beat you up.
Just like he said in the interview, you mess with Holly, she'll kick your ass.
And also, if anybody's interested out there, like we said in the interview, check out that website. I believe it was info@jacksonwink.com. Check it out. Check out their website.
And as he mentioned in that interview, we really want to spread it out this way. It really is an avenue for people that have it rough sometimes and can't get to college or something, but have talent, fighting, jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts. It's an avenue that has discipline. He was real strong about that. And they do offer classes. Like he said in the interview, it's very affordable. You don't have to live there. I mean, you're obviously not coming from other countries, but they have beginning classes, amateur and pro. He says if you have a background in wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu, anything like that anyone is welcome. So if you want to check out their training, it's open to anyone. He told us we could join the beginner class it's open. This guy's really good. They do a lot of good things for the community in Albuquerque. They love being there. None of them he's not originally from there, but like he said, he's from Russia and he just loves Albuquerque. He has his family there. He's settling down, and he thanks Coach Jackson and Coach Winklejohn for everything. He's a very humble guy. So that was an awesome experience, and we're excited to get back over there sometime in the future to interview some of them guys.
Great.
So what do you think, Ron?
I think I'm jealous again for that one, because I missed that one too.
That's all right, man. You didn't just miss it. You didn't just blow it off.
That's true.
You were working, Ron.
There were circumstances, but still, I'm going to have to up my game, I guess is what I mean.
Well,
we're all doing it. We're all doing it.
We just hope our fans know that we're trying to expand Our whole objective is to cover New Mexico-based sports, Cibola County sports, starting from age 2 all the way to the professionals, and this is all right here in our state. Like Mr. Collins talked about, we're an hour away from AAA baseball. That's the last step before the major leagues. I mean, come on,
Get out
we're
there and
lucky.
check out some games, you know? Get out there.
We're lucky. That they represent the Zia symbol, New Mexico, and we'll do whatever we can to cover anything. There's a new ice hockey team coming.
Yes, also guys, look forward to that.
The Ice Wolves?
Ice Wolves.
We got an email back from the New Mexico Ice Wolves as well.
Ice Wolves have contacted the locker room
So look for that. You know, we're trying to get United. We've all been trying on New Mexico United. We'll see how that goes, but look forward to that new hockey squad.
So Michael at Jackson Wink was explaining some of their travel, how him and Coach Winklejohn and Coach Jackson, it's a 24/7 job. He's getting calls from all over the world. His phone rang like 3 times during there, and it was from like China or something, because he said people are trying to set up fights with their fighters all over the place. He mentioned a fight that they're getting together in front of the president Putin in Russia. That one of their fighters is just a private fight for the president. And they're there. They leave on Thursday most of the time. They travel the world, and they're back in Albuquerque on Sunday to train. It's awesome. So we want to thank Distinct Inc. again, because they provided Mr. Lubinoff with a cool hoodie and a duffel bag also to travel, and that's going to travel the world with him, he said. So that all has the locker room stuff on it, guys. So we're getting out there. You never know.
Locker room in Russia?
Maybe. Anywhere.
Daha.
Hey, who knows? The locker room may be in Melbourne, Australia, Ron.
You never know.
So that's exciting. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Go back and listen to this. I'm sure if you watch this interview a few times, you're going to pick up something at everything. 'Cause he's so knowledgeable about the sport, and he's doing a great job out there at Jackson Wink.
Oh, yeah.
So that's our back to school episode. By the time you're watching us here, your kids have priority ate all the after school snacks you bought for the month and sleep on the couch because one day
Complaining about their teachers.
complaining that it's going to be hard, but stick with it. We talked about it. Academics, sports, hand in hand. Get involved. Our message to all these kids, adults, get involved with your kids. Kids, get involved with something. Sports, cubing, academics, anything.
Stay busy.
Stay busy, and let's have a good year. Let's do shout outs real quick. Hey, Max, you go first.
I'm going to shout out somebody at the New Mexico Lobos, okay? Also, emails going out to them as well, okay? Stay tuned. Anyways, from MountainWestWire.com, okay? Ranking the Mountain West Conference's top 5 scorers. In at number 4 was the New Mexico Lobos, Zane Martin. You may not be familiar because he sat out this past year. He transferred from Towson College, okay, out of the CAA conference, but he averaged 19.8 points a game, shoots about 46% from the field, and 38% from 3. So look for him this year. Big guy, 6'4", you know, not too tall, but he's got 205-pound frame, you know, helps him drive. And he's a knockdown scorer, man. He's a lefty. Also, speaking of lefties, I'm going to shout out my son, Miles. He's out there. He's on a boat right now. He's on a cruise with my brother. I wasn't able to go, but he's cruising the ocean in Mexico right now, having a blast. So I miss him.
Sipping fancy drinks.
The house is so quiet, and I don't know what to
Been a
do.
little strange, huh?
Yeah, he'll be gone for like 10, 11 days, so I'm like, man, I don't know what to do.
Where's the little dude, you know?
There's a lot of big things about UNM men's basketball this year. I'm excited too.
Yeah.
This could be a good.
We're lost some players. Everyone focused on the fifth-year senior leaving after he helped them, but they're getting some guys in here, and I think they're gonna.
You still got
Get after
Vance,
it.
and I think Vance is going to have a big breakout year this
And
year.
that guy that left, I already forgot his name, so
Yeah, me too.
whatever. It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter anymore. I mean, it doesn't matter anymore. Oops.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
All right. My shout out? Okay. I'm going to go to the pro sports realm with this one. This guy's name, this is a Dodgers pitcher, Joaquin, just promoted from AAA. There's a lot made of the Dodgers not moving for a bullpen arm. They would have had to given up a lot for Vasquez of the Pirates, who is a great pitcher, but instead what they did, they promoted within the organization. Dustin May, Remember this name. His nickname, Ginger Guard.
Ginger guard.
Because he's got long red hair, not like Noah Syndergaard.
But ginger guard.
Ginger because of the red hair. Well, today, in his first start, he did lose. But today, just today, to help out your Cubs, he went 5 2/3, one hit. It was a home run, solo home run to Marcell Ozuna of the Cards. Got his first win. He didn't get the win. I'm sorry, I didn't figure in the win. But this guy is the next in line. The great Dodger pitchers, Dustin May, Ginger Guard.
Oh, I like baseball players like that, even if they're a Dodger.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple shout outs real quick. One sports related. Shout out to Carmen's crew, who were the TBT champions last night. We talked about the basketball tournament. They were alumni from the Ohio State University.
All right.
And a cool rule we were talking about that I was watching last night and I didn't get it. When there was 4 minutes left in the game, whoever's on top, they add 7 points to that. And first team to that amount of points wins the game and the clock goes off.
Yeah.
So I was like freaking out because there was no clock. I didn't get it. We looked it up.
They call it the Elam ending.
Elam ending. So they were up 59-56.
Yeah, it was
4
a
minutes.
close game.
So they said the first team to 66. I think it was like 64-62. And a young man gets fouled and he knocks down 2 free throws to win $2 million. And it breaks down to all the players got $200,000, but this young man just steps up to the line and knocks down 2 to win the tournament.
And also, that was the first time that 2 alumni teams faced each other in TBT, because the team they beat was the Marquette Golden Eagles.
Oh,
a bunch
boy.
of alumni from them.
And I was watching the post game, and they were saying none of these guys have NBA contracts. I guess they can't. But so the beginning of the tournament reminded me a little bit about men's league. I watched for 13 minutes and didn't see one guy hit one shot. But as it got into the Final Four, there were some ballers.
Yeah.
So
Marquette was trying to get Dwayne Wade to come play.
So never heard of it until this year. This guy introduced us, and I'm a buyer. Can't wait till next year's TBT. And then my last shout out, all the students going back, please focus. School is very important. We've stressed it on this show a lot. Stay out of trouble. Get involved with things. We want to give you advice. Get involved with whatever you're interested in. Life is too short to be like, I wish I'd have done this in school. I wish I'd have done that.
Great.
Shout out to all the kids going back to school, especially my nephew, 5th grader. My daughter's going to be a sophomore volleyball player.
Nice.
And Dre takes off Thursday to start his college baseball career at Luna. So shout out to all of you guys.
Way to go, Greg.
And it's that time of the year where we're going to be super busy and bring you as much as we can. So again, thank you to our fans, our sponsors, and we'll see you next week.
I hope you guys are as excited as I was. Okay? Whoa. Pumped up.
Scared me.
Later.
Out.